Hello and welcome to the channel. Several political parties have spoken out against the support of former House of Representatives Speaker Yakubu Dogara for presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. Subscribe, like, share, and comment. Thank you. 2023. Obidati, NNPP, ADP, flay Dogara over group's adoption of Atiku. The Obidati Media Office, the New Nigerian People's Party NNPP, and African Democratic Party ADP have condemned the adoption of the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party PDP by a group of Christian and Muslim leaders in the North, led by former Speaker of the House of Representatives Yakubu Dogara. While Obidati Media Office dismissed postulations about the chances of Labour Party LP in the forthcoming 2023 presidential elections by former Speaker as Old Testament politics, the NNPP and ADP said they were not surprised at Atiku's adoption by the Dogara group, describing it as a sad development. The media office said its response was triggered by a statement credited to Dogara explaining why he and his own Christian group in the North chose the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), Atiku Abubakar, ahead of the high-flying Labour Party's presidential candidate, Mr. Peter Obi. The media office in Abuja, in a statement issued yesterday, noted that according to the jaundiced view of the former speaker, it does not believe that Obi and the Labour Party will win the election, and even if they win, they will not be able to run the system. It explained that Dogara had a fundamental right to choose who to support, adding that nobody could hold that against him, but that his attempt to inject his Old Testament politics into the system to suit a selfish interest is not going to do him any good. The statement read, "Clearly, the former speaker knows that he is swimming against the tide by his unpopular decision, which amounts to running from frying pan to fire, from one injustice to another, and claiming to be acting on behalf of his people whose hunger for the two wrongs of the two main political parties are glaring. Dogara knows as a fact that his position does not reflect the heart and mind of majority of Nigerian populace who are already on the moving train to take back the country from the primeval political thinkers like him. At this level, as the ex-leader of the National Parliament, Dogara should have been privileged to read the handwriting on the wall vividly to know that where the pendulum swings today, the talk is not about political party, but about character, competence and capacity, because where the country precariously stands today requires nothing short to save it. Dogara, as the Speaker of the House of Representatives, successfully ran a parliament literally in the opposition to the executive and even did not fall. Yet he feels that a pragmatic president like Peter Obi will not be able to maneuver or steer the ship of state. It is obvious that the former speaker is still living in the past of the whole politics that brought the country to where we are today, that political party interest is taking precedence over and above national interest. The former speaker knows as a fact that his choice is against the tide as the country stands on two prongs today ahead of the 2023 election. Justice and equity on one hand, and capacity and competence on the other, and not on primordial interest of political party lines. We in the Obidati media see Dogara's unpopular stand as a clear measure of double standard and a grave error in seeing same-faith ticket in his party as wrong, but jump to embrace another injustice of a party that refuses to follow its own constitution and respect for political fairness and accommodation. Subscribe, like, share, comment, and please turn the notification bell on. Thank you. Speaking to Vanguard on the issue, the national chairman of the NNPP, Professor Rufai Ahmed Alkali, said the party was disappointed but not surprised at the antics of the former speaker. According to Alkali, the party will respond to the group decisively in the language it will understand. He said, "We just received the story and the communique by the group. We are disappointed but not surprised at what Yakubu Dogara and his co-traveler said. We are going to respond to them decisively in the language they will understand. Also speaking with Vanguard, the presidential candidate of ADP, Yabagi Sani, said the time had come for Nigerians to emphasize merit as the yardstick for electing leaders for Nigeria rather than religion, ethnicity, and regionalism. Sani, who also doubles as the ADP national chairman, said, Nigeria should not be balkanized on religious, ethnic, and regional prism and stop further widen the fault lines that have held us back for years in the selection of candidates. To me, it is a sad development that will keep the country in the vicious circle of retrogression in all facets of life. Our party ADP under my administration as the President of Nigeria has all it takes in terms of knowledge, track record and dynamism to take Nigeria in the direction of growth, unity and peace. The Forum of Christian and Muslim Political Leaders from the 19 northern states and the Federal Capital Territory FCT had on Friday adopted Atiku Abubakar as the consensus candidate for the 2023 election, after a meeting at the Atiku Abubakar Hall of Shehu Musa Yaradua Center, Abuja. The forum, made up of religious leaders, women, and youth organizations, adopted the report of a technical committee led by a former minority leader of the House of Representatives, Mohammed Omara Kumalia, and Mr. Nonge Mele San. Meanwhile, stakeholders of the All Progressives Congress APC under the aegis of the Northern Young Professionals for Tinubu and Shetima have implored Nigerians to be wary of Northern Elders Consultative Forum and the Christian leaders in the North, saying they are politicians who are out to serve their own selfish and personal interest. It said former Speaker of the House of Representatives, Yakubu Dogara, and other members of the forum were on a self-serving mission when they formally adopted the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, as their candidate for the 2023 general election. The Dogara-led Christian leaders had on Friday adopted Atiku as their presidential candidate, saying the decision followed the resolve of the Northern Christian leaders to work with their Muslim counterparts to adopt one of the presidential candidates in a bid to defeat the same-faith presidential ticket of the APC. But addressing a press conference in Abuja on Sunday, the young Northern professionals reminded the Christian leaders that it was the corruption under the PDP 16-year misrule that subjected Nigerians to untold hardship. National Coordinator of the APC group Abdullahi Tanko Yakasai and the National Secretary Muhammad Waziri told journalists at the press conference that though they are not afraid of the endorsement of Atiku by the Christian politicians, it was appropriate to set the record straight. That's the news, guys. Thanks for joining in. Bye.